I know y'all here for the deal, and the deal is how do I fund my trust with no fiat, no cash? And I'm going to jump into that. But first, I wanted to jump into the creation of, a trust. The creation, maybe the validity, creation and validity. I'm out of American jurisprudence on trusts. And I'm just going to bust some, just going, hey, like anyone competent to contract may make such disposition of the legal title of his property. I'm going to read that again. It's the simple things. Anyone competent to contract may make such disposition of the legal title of his property as he pleases, may annex such conditions and limitations to its enjoyment as he chooses, and may vest it in trustees for the purpose of carrying out his intention. And that comes out of Schumann versus Hank. Schumann Hank. Schumann Hank. SCHUMANN hyphen Hank. Hank HEINK versus Folsom FOLSOM. Y'all can look that up. 328 ILL for Illinois. 321, 159 NE 250. Once again, anyone competent to contract may make such disposition of the legal title to his property. I'm gonna correct this. Anyone competent to contract may make such disposition of the legal title to his or her property as he or she pleases, may annex such conditions and limitations to its enjoyment as he or she chooses, and may vest it in trustees for the purpose of carrying out his or her intention. Nevertheless, the creation and validity of an express or direct trust depends upon its compliance with substantial substance and formal essentials and requisites, and upon its purpose. Then you'll probably be like, so you said this show was about how I fund my trust with no fiat money. You over here talking about who can create a trust. Yes. But I'm also saying anyone competent to contract may make such disposition of the legal title of his or her property. Property. Let's talk about property. Personal property, movable property. Most time when you hear personal property, you're talking about movable property. Pick stuff you can move. Like a car would be personal property, gold, a watch, your clothes. Anything that you can move, that's easily moved, will be considered personal property, personal effects, and what have you. Personal property. And then you have real property. Real property being real estate, land, and the constructs that are the constructs that are erected on top of the land. But we're talking about property as he or she pleases. So how do I fund my trust with no fiat, with no money, with no cash? How do I do that? With property. Property. I don't understand why so many people think funding their trust or estate and they automatically think of Federal Reserve notes or some sort of currency. I understand most of us don't understand the difference between money and currency or money and fiat. But, I mean, it amazes me. People, I'm going to go private and private this and private that. How you going to fund your private trust? With, $50,000, hey. It amazes me. So we talking about personal property. What kind of personal property? That's a good question. It's a very good question. But it doesn't rest upon specifically the property. It also rests upon the compliance with substantial and formal essentials and requisites and upon its purpose. So what's the purpose? Can you fund a trust with a purpose? With a mission? I don't want to get too abstract. Can you fund a trust with a bathrobe? If you can get trustees to sign on in a fiduciary capacity and you grant the trust with a bathrobe and they take it seriously, yes. Yes, as long as this trust is in compliance with substantial and formal essentials and requisites and has a specific purpose. I suggest you fund your trust with real money. And people you get the difference between initial funding and then subsequent funding. Subsequent funding would be, through transactions of exchanges. You can exchange vehicles into a trust. You can exchange property, other types of real property. You can exchange gold and silver into a trust. Once the trust is funded initially, you can still be funded through exchanges, subsequently or further funded through exchanges. A lot of people, I consult, a handful of people I consult. They think you fund it one time. You got to put money in the trust one time and that's it. You can't fund it anymore. You got to take that money and make money with it, or go into business or whatever, make investments. And if you run out of money, you can't. You got to fund another trust or something like that. There's a lot of different misconceptions that I come across, which is another reason why I wanted to put together the foundation trust primers and offer those on behalf of the foundation. Something relatively inexpensive that we can get our hands on and really get a real complete primer from a source that I trust, that you trust. I hope you trust. I'm not going to send you some stuff some more weirdness, have you thinking weird. We're very specific and we focus on the administration of contract entities, and that's it. You can get into the other stuff on your own. I wish you the best. But, we take care of what we take care of our own first. Take care of the family first. And in doing that, take care of the estate. So, I'm going to tell you the truth. You can fund a trust with a vehicle, with a car. As long as it's paid off, it's got to be paid off. It's got to be paid off. It's got to be paid off. You're asking for trouble if you're trying to put something in a private trust that has a loan or something on it. You still got to pay payments or, mortgage payments or, car payments or, something like that. You're asking for absolute trouble. Because now you minimum contact to the trust in its inception. In its inception, which means in its initial funding. Oops. You stepped off on the wrong foot. And a lot of people, will compromise their trust and operate for years and years and years. And then do something and then triggers an audit and then it goes all the way back all those years and years and years and disregards the trust as a separate entity. And it's devastating. It ruins people. It ruins marriages. It ruins families. It ruins friendships. It ruins relationships. trying to avoid these pitfalls by telling y'all the truth. Yeah, I be pancaking toes. A lot of people be trying to charge money for simple stuff that I think is simple. But yeah, you can, I don't want you, hit me up and trying to get a consultation on something that I think is simple. Keep your fiat. You can do other things, convert it into silver or gold, or do something. If the question is, can I fund my private trust without money? I'm gonna tell you absolutely. I'm gonna tell you can do it with a vehicle. I'm gonna tell you that you can do it with gold and silver. I'm gonna tell you can do it with your dad's cold pimp suit from '78 that you found in the closet. That could be the initial corpus of the trust. Absolutely, it's a private contract. Who's gonna tell you? Who gonna tell you they ain't? They gonna impair the obligation of a contract? They breaching the Constitution? To me, it's very simple. You know what I mean? It's very simple. They're gonna impair the obligation of a contract? I don't think so. By saying that, hey, you cannot create or fund a trust with that. Well, it says in the contract that we did. A lot of us are taught to think, funds are currency, these pieces of paper. And that's not true. Funds include currency. But there's many ways to fund the trust. Just get creative. You're in the private. When you get into the private, you got to be creative. There's no rules. You create the rules through the contract. So as long as you're in line with, natural law, you're not hurting any person or their property, and it's, a lawful intent and purpose of the trust, the contract can say pretty much anything. And it's tough, and I'm gonna tell y'all this, and a lot of people don't think about this. It's tough getting direction with regards to private administration in the public, because the public has a different law of how to administer trusts, and that's what they teach. That's what's taught in the public, and these are public entities. So a lot of times you go into the public, you hire an attorney or something, and if they're not some sort of, attorney who studied the Constitution, who studied trust as well as contracts, you're more than likely going to get some bad advice. Because what applies to statutory or state or public trusts does not necessarily apply to private trusts. Why? Because public trusts are governed by legislation, by the state legislation or federal legislation. For private trusts are governed by the contract. So what's in the contract for the private trust may not be in the statutes of the legislature. So there may be powers in the trust that this public attorney is not familiar with and doesn't feel comfortable with, and isn't willing to exercise on behalf of the beneficiaries or give you, quote, legal advice on something that this attorney or lawyer is not familiar with. Because it opens this attorney or lawyer up to liability. So more than likely they're going to take the safe road and, quote, advise you, end quote, more along the lines of a statutory trust. Big no, it's not what you want. You don't want that. You really don't. You do not want that. Especially if you have a private contractual entity, it's irrevocable. It's created in complex contractual form. Does not owe its existence to any state legislation or federal legislation. Therefore, it is not governed by legislation. And it's very elastic versus these inelastic, very rigid, controlled public trusts, public entities. Which blows my mind why people want to capture this straw man. Because that thing is public than public. That thing is been public since it's been public. But whatever, I'm not going to digress. But I just want to get y'all thinking, you know, how do you fund the trust? Now, and it's more than just funding the trust, you know, privately. You got to have the right jurisdiction. You got to have the right powers. You got to have the right limitations, you know, for different parties. What are the limitations for the trustees? What are the limitations for the beneficiaries? What are the limitations for the grantor? What are the limitations for the exchangers? What are the limitations for, you know what I'm saying, the agents and these different delegations of authority? What are the limitations on, you know, state? What are the limitations? You know, what are the powers? What is the situs of the trust? You know? It's not just, oh, my trust is funding and, you know, I'm out here in my private, man. I'm doing my dance, man. Yeah. It's not just about that. I'm trying to tell y'all. You can get it funded. It's administration. It's having the right contracts. You know, it's having the right mentors or mentor. It's having the right, you know, in a lot of cases, study group. And it's, you know, it's understanding, like, you know, hey, in the private, we the trustees, as the board of trustees, we can amend the contract. Amendment to the contract is a resolution. A resolution is evidenced in a minute. A minute is attached to the original contract, which means we either added to the contract, which means we have the power to add to the contract, or we amended the contract that was pre-existing, which means we changed something in the original contract. That's a very powerful position to sit in. We got to get used to not asking questions, asking for permission in the private. You don't ask for permission in the private. Asking for permission in the private makes you look like you don't know what you're doing. Makes you look like you don't understand what's going on. Makes you look like you, you know, it appears as though you don't have, or you're not very confident in what you're doing or what you're trying to do. Now, let's ask. You can ask advice. You know, definitely. You can ask someone's experience in relation to your situation, but you know, in the private, you gotta make your own decision, man. In the public, we're used to saying, "Can I? Is it okay if I? May I? Do you mind if?" In private, you ain't too much of that unless you go to someone else's property. So, how you gonna fund your trust? There's a lot of things to think about. You can fund your trust. I'm not gonna say that. You can fund your trust with some tools, man. If you're a mechanic or you do mechanic work on the side and you own some tools, you can fund the trust with the tools, man. And then from then on, you can say it's a business trust. From then on, you know, when you do work on vehicles or whatnot, you know, when you get paid, if it's in cash, you put it in the trust account. But if it's a check or a credit card, the trust gets the money. Wow, what's the purpose of the trust? Purpose of the trust is to provide mechanical services for vehicles of, you know, the subcompact, compact, luxury, sedan, and, you know, larger sedan models, including SUVs. If that's the purpose of the contract, now the trust got tools. Sounds like you can get moving with that trust, baby. Especially as a trustee, if you have specific knowledge with regards to how to work and service vehicles, you know how to use those tools that the trust owns. So you're going to take the corpus of the trust, invest it properly with your time in fixing up, you know, a couple cars or something, make some money. Now the trust is making money. You funded the trust with socket sets and air pressure drills, man. Now, I know I make it sound simple. I know, you know, I get to talking about this stuff and, you know, it gets to coming off the top of my head and, you know, I know I make it sound simple. But at one point in time, you know, this trust stuff really confused me, man. It really did. So, I'm a big proponent of the phrase, if I can do it, you can do it. But I also, want to offer, the Foundation Trust Primer. If you're interested, email us, admin at welcometothefoundation.com for a small donation, blah, blah. Get your primer on. You can hit the PDF section, get your learn on. But my whole goal of, doing the foundation is to get you thinking differently. Kind of not, and I'd be like, get you thinking outside the box, man. Damn the box. I'm trying to get you thinking outside the public. I'm trying to get you thinking like a trustee. I'm trying to get you thinking like a contractor, an entrepreneur, one who contracts. And through those contracts makes specific moves for the benefit of the private estate. You can't take none of this stuff with you. None of it. And if you're investing in depreciating assets, you're doing yourself a disservice. Most of your money goes to rent and clothes and food. You got to hear what I'm saying. You can't. That stuff doesn't even last. Those are consumer goods. And if you're not putting money away or, executing a trust indenture, doing something for the future, I don't think you're living as full as you can be. I don't think you're, achieving, a whole feeling of what's the word I'm looking for? Of, bottom line, man, you're missing out. You're missing out on some great feelings. You're missing out on some great, some very, very strong positive energy. Absolutely. If you're out here just living for yourself, man, you're living a very shallow, a very one-sided existence. And, those who really want to get into trust, and they want to get in trust for selfish individual reasons, they never make it. Because, at some point in time, it gets to be work. And unless we got a higher purpose or a higher calling, or, we're thinking beyond ourselves, it's easy for me to put off doing work. Because I can always do it later or whatever. But when I'm thinking about my family, when I'm thinking about people who depend on me, I ain't got time to waste, man. You got to get it done, man. Come on, man. Let's do it, man. Come on. So I just want to get y'all thinking, outside the public. When you think about how you're going to fund your trust, when you think about how you're going to administer it, you're going to think about, how am I going to, get trustee training? How am I going to do this? I'm trying to help you get thinking outside of the public. The public is a very limiting, constricting, restrictive, oppressive. Because the less you can do and the less you know, the more I can make money off you by selling you goods and services. A service is just something that you don't know how to do or don't have time to do. And that's how people get money out here. Good is something that you don't know how to produce. Both situations are lack of knowledge. Now, you can't know everything. You can't know how to make everything. But it's important to kind of think it like that, The public is made up of and commerce moves through ignorance, man. Ignorance of knowing how to make products, ignorance of knowing how to complete certain services, or lack of time, lack of ability. Maybe you're disabled and you can't wash the windows. You got to hire a window washer. And thinking outside the public is it's a very less limiting venue, but B, it really gets you in your creative mind and your creative spirit. And from a creative standpoint, thinking from a creative um, platform with the power to contract unlimited with contractual protections with regards to the impairment of contracts, you're in a very, very, very powerful position. Very powerful. Very powerful. Very powerful. A lot of people, people tell you, oh, you don't have enough money. It's not going to be worth it for you to make trust or make your creative estate. You don't make enough money. Only people with a lot of money have that. Well, there's people who come from an informed family and an uninformed family, man. And just because you see people who are wealthy in your mind or rich in your mind, and those are the people that you see with these entities, does not mean that those are the only people that have those entities, man. You don't know what you don't know. And don't let the people send you off. Don't let my limitations create your limitations. Because I'm sure as hell not letting your limitations create or manage my limitations. I'm out here, there is no spoon. These guys trying to get me to play spoons as an instrument on my knee. And I'm out here, there is no spoon. Imagine that. But the public is very limited. You go to school for umpteen years and you get 1 degree. 1. That's a limited field. That's a limited number of jobs that you're looking to apply for because you are supposed to, or feel like you're supposed to make, quote, a certain amount of, quote, money a year. And that's the sector or industry where you stand to make the most because you have specialized knowledge. 1 degree, there's 360 degrees in a circle, fame. We out here grade with mass student loans at 1 degree. I fell for it, man. I ain't talking. I'm talking from experience, not from disdain. But we fall for it. We fall for it. So, for those that can hear, those that are interested, we got several things going on right now. We got the death of the CPN going on right now. If you haven't checked it out, check out the show, Foundation, Death of the CPNs. The public is locking down the death of CPNs, if you're not up on it. We got that going down right now. We got the public locking down as far as, the Social Security verification. They're going to have it on the application. You're going to apply for a credit card or something like that. They're going to have this box, these check boxes. I agree to the terms of service. I agree to the e-consent or, whatever. And then the other box is going to be, I agree to allow the company to match my Social Security number with the records in the Social Security Administration. And if you have a CPN, oh man, it's going to kill you, fam. If you're looking to do business privately, if you want to establish an account, a bank account or something like that, and not disclose your Social Security number, and not argue with these fools, to exercise your constitutionally protected rights, to not be forced to disclose private information, and the federal government protects it. Private individuals who do not wish to disclose their Social Security numbers. But, you got two parts of the United States. You got the part that's trying to take over, which I consider the democracy, and another part that's trying to, get back on its feet, I guess, because they call it the house that no one lives in, the republic. To me, no part of this government was made for people who look like me. We the people was made for them, those signers and their posterity. I don't think I'm related to none of those fools through birth or death or blood or whatever. But, as an American national, there's private rights that can be enforced and upheld by the Constitution. So enforcing the Constitution for those like me is important, but knowing the Constitution is most important in order to enforce it. And it's not just, everybody can use this stuff, can use this information. But, if you think about it, public is the democracy, man. You know, it's Congress, man. You know what I mean? It's like, it's Congress, man. And the public doesn't want you to have private rights. The public doesn't want you to be private. The public doesn't want you to get out of it. The public doesn't want you to have a private contractual trust that they have no legislative or governing authority over. They don't want you to be free from it. The public needs your energy, man. The public will not function without energy, without you getting up and somehow converting or investing or spending or doing something with your energy. And the public ain't trying to let you go. Trying to let you get free. And they're starting to lock down. We also got Tehran doing, he's trying to teach people about credit because we see what's coming. He's got the dozen. Those dozen that he's trying to walk through, there's a couple spots left, He's gonna teach them jewels, like straight up jewels, how-tos. You can go be your own Tehran. Just study and learn what he teaches you. There's a couple slots left in the dozen, trying to get you right. We got a partnership with, this company, this establishment for the credit profile numbers. There's a limited amount. You want to get into trustee training, business trust, asset trust, family trust. You want to start your business, get your business credit off the ground, get your personal credit. Admin at welcometothefoundation.com. If you want to get your hands on the new Foundation Trust Primer, over 17 documents, handpicked by me. These are what I've used and what I've studied. Some of the things, a small portion of the things, but, I feel like it's the primer. So, I feel like it's the primer. If you're interested in that, admin at welcometothefoundation.com. I just want to let y'all know, man, when it comes to funding trusts, just stop thinking about only funds being currency. Get creative. Step back into your creatorhood. And let's do this dance. We got about 5 minutes left in the broadcast. I'm going to stream a little bit. Let me jump into the phone lines a little bit. You don't want to call in 424-222-5250. If you're listening on the internet, you will get cut off. You will have to listen to the archived of the show. I kept it kind of light, I feel. But I think it's important to, stick to the plan. Very important to stick to the plan. And understand that, we need to start getting away from what they tell us value is, what they tell us money is, what they tell us is important, what they tell us is status, what they tell us is cool, what they tell us or what we want. These fools spend millions and millions of dollars an hour on broadcast television for commercial spots that are louder than whatever you're watching. Once the commercials come on, it gets louder, trying to get your attention to consume their goods or services. Now take control. We got to determine what's valuable. We got to determine what's funds is. What we consider funds privately. Y'all. Public considers this funds, this currency, this paper. But privately, in the Brown Family Trust, we don't consider currency funds. Funds consist of this, and they can proceed to list off what are considered funds in that trust or that trust estate. And that be the law. And, the power of such a position. It'll come to you. It comes slow, but yet it comes. I think this is the most important thing in your life. I think it's the most important thing you can do in your entire life is reestablish your family state. I'm going to go to the phone lines. What we got here? Switchboard? Is the switchboard tripping? You know, I be talking, I be like, man, I hope they can hear what I'm saying. Like, there's not a technical difficulty, or I'm not on mute accidentally or something like that. Because you know that happens. But I think I'm good. 929-4056. 929-4056. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace, Brother Sotel. This is Sister Yvette. Peace, kings and queens, communities. My brother, you have been doing this work for a minute. And like I said a few shows ago, some people are going to sit and procrastinate till it's too late. Now, most of them have already seen the public is locking down. And the key thing we keep trying to stress is private education. When I made that transition, I never knew how much the public was hiding from our people. I never knew that the real money was not the Federal Reserve notes that they can take up to 99 years or more to pay through our generation. See, people, the thing about it is it's getting real out here. Yeah, they're locking down on us because of the CPNs, because of the private. Because you have to remember, this system was not designed for us to thrive. This system was designed for the others to thrive. They use us to thrive off of us. As long as we get up and we go to these 9 to 5s or whatever time frames you go to these jobs, these slave mentality jobs, they got you locked down. Every time you purchase something, the government has to get something, whether it's the taxes on your food, whether it's the high mortgages that they went from 30 to 40 years now. You know, it's like the loans. Now you can't go in and get loans unless you have perfect credit. How many of us really have perfect credit? You know, brothers and sisters, kings and queens, communities, it's getting real. Like I keep trying to explain to you all, it's not about keeping up with the Joneses and the latest fads, the clothing. When you have your private estate, all that stuff is yours. It goes into your private estate. But you got to know how to pick sense from nonsense. Okay, you got to know, is it the silver that you wear in your arms and your finger, or is it the silver that you leave for the next couple of generations? Is it the gold that you wear on your neck, or is it the gold coins that you leave for your children and your children's children? See, the thing about it is society doesn't recognize us as living entities. They recognize us as their commerce. They're collecting from us because we have to pay for everything that we get, whether it's the food, whether it's the taxes on our salaries, whether it's the taxes on our things we purchase. They're living off of us. When you are giving people 30, 40, 50 years of your life and you're giving more than half of that Federal Reserve note to them, you got to ask yourself, is it really worth it? When I made that transition, it was really worth it. Now, what you need to do, and I'm quite sure you all got $40, make sure you make that donation and get those papers. Once you get a touch of those papers, you're going to understand what I'm saying. It's going to pique your interest to go to further levels. The thing about it is we have to get to a higher level of elevation, a higher level of education. And I'm not talking about college. Because how many of you out here have degrees and you still not in the right job market or have the right job for these people? Get yourselves private, people. Get yourselves right. It's locking down. They going to make life real miserable for us people of color. All of y'all better check yourselves and reevaluate. I know you wouldn't spend all that money for Christmas. I told my family and friends I'm not spending a dime. I will invest in my private. I will invest in tangible assets because that's what's going to stand up when all the gift wrapping paper is going to the garbage and the toys are all over the place, or the $3,000 sneakers is waiting for somebody to be robbed. So you think about it, kings and queens. Communities, get yourself right. My brother, some folks going to get it by the time the new year rolls in. They going to get tired. Sometimes people have to get good and tired before they're really tired. You keep doing the good work because everything is lining up. The ancestors are definitely smiling on you, my brother. Keep doing the good deeds. The rest of the thieves out here, the rest of the crooks, your pond has dried up because you fleeced our people. I want to see what you're going to do when everything lines up and you have to authenticate the numbers that you was fleecing our people with and stealing from them. Get yourselves right, kings and queens. Brother Tehran is going to take a lot of people through some doors that's going to be shut for others. Brother, you're going to do the same. Just keep your hands clean, your heart right, and your mind right. You know the wolves in sheep clothing. Keep looking out for them because they coming. Peace, my brother. Peace, kings and queens, communities. Peace to the gods.
Peace, sister. Woo, she said a lot. Always a pleasure, man. The sister be dropping bombs. Definitely, super OG with the show, man. Sister Yvette, she family, she family. I always appreciate you coming on the show. And with that being said, she's right. I think she's right. This whole dozen thing with Tehran, man, the CPN, I just don't know, how people are going to get around this thing, and they're going to make it, if you going private and you really want to be private, they're going to make it real hard on you. They're going to try to make it real hard on you, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. And they're going to make it prohibitive and very hard, and hopefully that you fatigue out and you give up and you stop trying and stuff. So, but, this switchboard is being weird. I can't even see if there's callers anymore. Blog Talk is the absolute best. I really appreciate Blog Talk. It gets down. Even when, it's not working, it's working. So I guess that means that's a wrap. So I wanted to thank everybody. I definitely want to thank everybody for, hold on. Yeah, I can't do it. I want to thank, I'm just going to hit refresh. Refresh. I do want to thank everybody for coming on the show, checking out the show. I really do appreciate it. I do want to remind y'all that, you should be investing in your private education, and you should definitely be paying yourself. You should pay yourself first. Remember, you get money, you get paid, you pay the gas bill, you pay the lights, you know what I'm saying? And even now, right around this time, I know a lot of y'all buying gifts for other people. You're going to be giving gifts away to people and stuff. How do you pay yourself? And how do you save? I say we should all be at least grabbing 1 ounce of silver, an American Eagle silver coin. Go to like a pawn shop, we buy gold, tell them to quit playing with you and quit trying to charge you spot. And, around $20, $20 or so, $21, you can get an ounce of silver. $21, $20 a month, that's what, 2 value meals at McDonald's. It's not much. And, if you're looking to get your hands on gold and you don't think you can afford it, email me. Admin at Welcome to the Foundation, man. We sign you up for carat bars, man. You can buy gold in as little as 1/10 of a gram at a time. And please understand that stuff really adds up in time. So, you also get gram of gold. I started off, I get 1 ounce of gold. I'm sorry, I wish. 1 ounce of silver, and then I would get like a gram of gold. So it'd be like, when I first started, that'd be like $50, $60 a month or something. That's how I first started paying myself in real money. And I was paying myself, $50, $60 a month in real money. And, we don't save in fiat currency family. We save in gold and silver. So, I started doing that, and, it adds up. It definitely adds up. So I encourage you, invite you, email admin@welcometothefoundation.com, if you want some more information. But you should definitely be paying yourself at least once a month in real money. And, no show on the 26th. If there is a show, it might be recorded. If there is a show, congratulations. It's what's up. I just don't want people to be shook because it might be complications, and I might not be able to do it because I'm going to be out of town. Okay, you want to work? There's a couple callers. Let me take one more caller. Just one. I know I hit refresh and it looked like it worked. I'm going to pick it at random because we got a 915, we got a 216, we got an 804. We got a 216. Oh, it is? Oh, no show on the 25th. The 25th, not the 26th. My bad. That's my fault. One caller. You know what? I'm going to do this ones. This one's 1111. I think Skype caller. Peace, what's your name? Where you calling from? Is it working?
Greet to the God, Balance on the check-in. And greetings to the listeners. How we be? I'm good, brethren.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man? How you doing, fam?
Right. Hanging in there, focusing and doing the thing that I got to do. Keep it going, in the trust world. You feel me? How we doing with the brother, man, Copper Tone? He don't be on no more. What happened with Copper Tone?
Man, I ain't hollered at Mello in a minute. I have not hollered at Mello in a minute. I don't know where Mello is, man.
At all.
Disappear and homies reappear. If you say that three times, if you say that 3 times in a row in the mirror in the bathroom, your homies show up.
I had to send him out. I had to send him out to the ethers, you know what I'm saying, so he could come through.
Yeah.
Because he seemed like a dedicated brother, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like Mello. That's my guy.
That CPN, man, something else, man. People don't know. It's going to be on lockdown soon, man. Slowly but surely. Get shit accomplished out here. They better, study, man. They ain't playing out here. And, invest in all that precious metals, man. Like how you be saying. Because if they don't, them notes ain't going to help them after a while, man. That's why I walk around with, Troy ounces on me. You know what I'm saying? That silver. Just in case,
Yeah, I recommend that.
Property. Yeah, plus it's a healing property. So, when I deal with whoever I come in contact with, I share it with them. Tell them this is real money, real currency. This is what you should always have and stock up on. Like you said, $20 within a month, and you like to eat all that fast food, corrupt, toxic stuff, you need to invest that $20 into some precious metals and stock up for the long haul. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. It's real money. I just call it like I pay myself in real money. You know what I mean? Like I pay others. I pay everybody else in fiat, but I pay myself in real money. And, looking at it like that, for me, it's a good way to look at it.
Right. No doubt. So I just wanted to touch on that, and, send my good vibes out to all that's on the right path, Because you know why? There's light at the end of the tunnel no matter what. We all going through this learning process together, man.
True indeed.
So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to yield the floor and let somebody else that might want to catch in on the last lick before you shut it down.
Yep, man. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in, man.
No
Thanks
doubt.
for
Don't
calling in.
celebrate this holiday. Celebrate yourself and your ancestors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't celebrate the holidays, man. That's it's not my culture, fam.
There you
But
go.
I mean,
you already,
enjoy the season.
You already know. One love to the God and to all that's listening. Take heed. Peace.
Peace, fam. Thanks for calling in, bro.
You already
I got balance. Appreciate the family, yo. I'm out of here, y'all. That's it. We out of here. I know there's more callers. I love y'all. I'm out of here. We're going to wrap this up. So no show on the 25th. You know, I know that's y'all Christmas Day and stuff. I'm going to be out of town. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay away from this madness. And it is what it is, you know. So next week ain't going to be no show. If there is a show, I guess happy holiday. I mean, but I don't guarantee nothing. Email me, admin at Welcome to the Foundation. You want to check out Care Bars, you want more information. We got the new affiliate contract that's available for, for those who are looking to get in trustee training, looking to refer others in trustee training. Email admin at welcometothefoundation.com for more information. We also got the new Foundation Trust Primer. It's a bunch, over 17 documents, handpicked. And, I was going to take a shortcut, but I ended up just going through all my stuff, man. So handpicked over 17 documents. Just a small portion of some of the things that I've read, but, it's the primer. So we got the primer. If you're interested in trustee training, email us, admin at welcometothefoundation.com. You like a consultation, you want to start your business, you just want to know where to begin, admin at welcometothefoundation.com. We got you. Got your back, man. We do this for you. And, there's nothing more satisfying to me than seeing you do your dance. Absolutely. So with that being said, y'all enjoy yourself. Have a great week. If I don't holler at you, next week, I'll holler at you the week after. Be safe out there. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight. And, I'll holler at you next year. Take care of yourself, y'all. Love you. Love you, love you. Peace to the gods.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.